In a showdown that carried decades of family rivalry and boxing history, Chris Eubank Jr. outlasted Conor Benn to secure a unanimous points victory in their long-awaited middleweight clash. The bout, staged under the bright lights of a sold-out arena, lived up to its billing as one of the most heated all-British grudge matches in recent memory. From the opening bell, the atmosphere was electric. Both men carried not only their own careers into the ring but also the legacies of their fathers, Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn, who famously shared two brutal encounters in the 1990s. The sons entered determined to carve their own chapter, and what unfolded was a gripping, tactical war. Early rounds, Benn's speed versus Eubank's composure. Conor Benn started aggressively, pressing forward with sharp combinations and targeting the body. His hand speed was evident, and he looked to unsettle Eubank Jr. with bursts of activity. The younger Benn landed some eye-catching flurries, particularly in the second and third rounds, which drew roars from his supporters. Eubank Jr., however, remained composed. He used his jab to control the distance, refusing to be dragged into reckless exchanges. His defensive movement kept Benn from landing clean power shots, and his counters began to slow Benn's early momentum. By round 4, the fight had settled into a battle of strategy, Benn's pace and aggression against Eubank's timing and ring generalship. Middle rounds, Eubank takes control. As the fight entered the middle stages, Eubank Jr.'s experience began to tell. He was economical with his output, but when he let his punches go, they were precise and effective. A stiff uppercut in the 6th round reminded Benn of the danger in pressing forward without caution. Eubank's jab became the key weapon, snapping Benn's head back repeatedly. He also found success with body shots, slowing Benn down and reducing the explosiveness that had fueled his early success. The 7th and 8th rounds saw Eubank establish clear control, dictating the pace and forcing Benn to take more risks. Championship rounds are Benn's heart, Eubank's experience. Heading into the later rounds, the fight was finely balanced but leaning in Eubank's favor. Benn, to his credit, refused to wilt. He pushed forward with relentless determination, landing a few telling hooks in the 9th that brought the crowd to its feet. But every time Benn surged, Eubank responded with calm accuracy, picking him off with counters and showing his ring IQ. The 10th and 11th rounds were fought at a frantic pace, with both men trading in close quarters. Benn's grit was undeniable, yet it was Eubank's composure that stood out. He absorbed the pressure and responded with sharp combinations that scored cleanly in the eyes of the judges. By the 12th and final round, the arena was deafening. Both fighters dug deep, giving everything left in the tank. Benn stormed forward, throwing flurries, but Eubank met him with crisp counters and clinches when necessary. As the final bell rang, both men raised their arms in defiance, knowing they had left everything in the ring. The verdict. The judges' scorecards reflected Eubank's control and accuracy throughout the fight, 116 to 112, 117 to 111, 115 to 113. All in favor of Chris Eubank Jr. The unanimous decision victory was met with a mix of cheers and jeers, but few could argue with the outcome. In his post-fight interview, Eubank Jr. declared, "This was never just about me and Conor. This was about family, legacy, and proving that I am still at the top of this game. Conor fought with heart, but experience and class won tonight." Benn, visibly disappointed but defiant, vowed to return. "I gave everything, and I'll be back stronger. This rivalry isn't over. He got the better of me tonight, but the story is far from finished." Legacy and what's next. With the victory, Eubank Jr. not only cements his place as a leading figure in British boxing but also settles, for now, one of the most hyped domestic rivalries in years. Talk immediately turned to a potential rematch, a fight that would undoubtedly draw huge interest again. For Benn, the loss is a setback, but at just 28 years old, his career is far from derailed. His determination and fighting spirit ensured he left the ring with credit, even in defeat. For Eubank Jr., this win adds a defining chapter to his career. He outboxed, outlasted, and ultimately outclassed his rival in a fight that will be remembered as a modern continuation of a legendary family feud.